What's up, y'all? Welcome to the 100 subscriber personal collection episode. Really excited to show you guys this. We'll just get straight into showing you all of it. Just a fair warning, there's nothing like overwhelmingly exciting about it, but still wanted to show you guys what I have and what I've collected over the past like 6-ish months, 6, 7, 8 months. So, and yeah, obviously, as y'all know, I'm very much on a budget for this channel, so yeah, nothing insane, but still want to show you guys everything, so let's get right into it. Okay, so first off, over at this shelf, we got some of my like more recent pickups, especially these plushies. I think these are so cool. We've got the EV poncho wearing Umbreon. I don't know if these are officially licensed products, but I just randomly found someone on Facebook that was selling these, and they were like pretty good price, I'd say, for what they are and the like condition of them. So I wanted to pick some up. We'll probably actually pick up more to like fill out a whole space. I think it'll look cool. We got the EV Flareon poncho wearing one, and then got a Pikachu Lucario poncho. So yeah, I thought those were pretty cool. Plushies are always cool, especially in Pokemon. You know, there's so many different kinds of plushies. So wanted to start working on a collection for them. So figured I'd get ones of ponchos that I actually like. So yeah, that's the first part. And then we move on to what's right underneath them, which are these files. This is my absolute favorite Pikachu poncho card. This is like my holy grail card, but it's just a file basically, still sealed, and it's thing from the Pokemon Center, as you can see on there. I think I'm going to hang these up. I found someone on Reddit that just sells all of the like miscellaneous random items on there, so, and I actually really like collecting stuff like that. I always love the miscellaneous stuff when collecting stuff for a certain game or set or company or whatever it is. But yes, we got the, I believe it's the Skull Grunt Poncho Pikachu file, and then we also have the Pikachu Libre file, which is one's really cool too. Got the Pokken tournament on the back. You can see it like kind of fades through it. So yeah, another cool file right there. Those are the only two files I have right now, but definitely going to be collecting more for the collection. And then you can see in the background right here, we've got the Pokemon 25th Anniversary album, which is pretty cool on vinyl. I just thought it would be a cool display piece. I actually bought this a long time ago. This is actually the vinyl that got me into collecting vinyls, funny enough, because I wasn't even really into Pokemon at the time when I bought this, but still thought it was really cool. And my favorite artist is Post Malone, which he did a song on this album, which, so it was like a 2-in-1 for me pretty much. But yeah, just a Pokemon vinyl. No like posters came with it or anything, but the vinyl was of course yellow. So yeah, that's a cool, I feel like really like random niche piece to have in a collection, not something you see all too often. Next up, I actually just bought this like the other day. I was going to Albertsons to see if there's any cards in the vending machine, and this happened to be sitting in a stand right next to it. It's literally just a Hershey's bar, but it's Pokemon themed, and like the chocolate pieces are like engraved with certain Pokemon things on them. It's actually pretty cool, and it's one of 12 different variations, so there was like 12 different Pokemon on the pack. I just got a Pikachu one. I wasn't gonna go crazy and buy like a bunch of them. I just thought it would be cool to have one and keep it in here, but yeah, just a very random Hershey's Pikachu. Thought it would be cool to throw onto the collection. And then next up, I actually got a really random old comic book of Pokemon. We got Pokemon Electric Pikachu Boogaloo, number 4 of the series. I don't even know exactly what this comes from. It looks like it was made around 1999. You got a really old style back with the Pokédex, but yeah, just a really cool piece. I like randomly bought a vintage comic book lot years and years back, and this happened to be in it, so I always held on to it and kept it for my Pokemon side of me, and now it's part of my collection. So yeah, just another really random cool piece. I would love to get more like comic style stuff to add on to this collection, so hopefully there will be more of that down the line. And then you move into one of my little cubbies over here, and it's got just a bunch of random stuff. I have, fun fact, held on to every single booster box of cards that I've ever opened, because I thought, even before I was a YouTuber, I was like, what if I could use them as displays down the line, like somewhere? Like, I think that would be cool. And it just so happened that, you know, now I do this, and I will definitely be displaying them at some point once this is fully set up, but I'll just take you through all the ones I have. We have an Astral Radiance one, got a Brilliant Stars, got a second Astral Radiance, got a Crimson Invasion. That's the oldest one that I've opened. Crazy fact, when I got this box, it was for like $90 on eBay. Just insane. Got a second Brilliant Stars, and then the big boy that's just like crazy to see today, the Fusion Strike one. This one's like $800 nowadays. I remember opening these just whenever the hell I wanted for like $100 each. Just insane. So pretty cool one to have. And then along in that cubby is, of course, you guys saw this a long time ago when I opened it, but it's the poster collection. It's the poster from the poster collection 151 box. So I was hoping to hang this up at some point on the like artwork side to join the other poster that I have up on the wall that you guys have seen in the background of videos, but so I just have that. These are kind of like, everything down here is like off to the side for now because I know it's going to be displayed. I just haven't figured out how I'm doing it yet. Next up, I have a bunch of random jumbo cards that I've collected throughout time, whether it was before I recorded in Sword and Shield era or now, like the Blastoise EX. We got that from the Blooming Waters box. And yeah, obviously a bunch of Pikachus, but I was thinking it would be cool to also hang these up with posters as well, because I don't really see any other use for jumbo cards, but I think they would be cool as display pieces on the wall, so definitely considering hanging those up with the posters. And then finally, we have this very random 2024 calendar called Pokemon Move. I'm not entirely sure if this is a Pokemon licensed product. I would assume it is because I bought it in a Barnes & Noble. I just randomly saw it one time when I was working a couple years back. I used to work in a mall and there was a Barnes & Noble in it, and I went to grab lunch and just saw it. And like I say, guys, like even when I wasn't a Pokemon YouTuber and not super into it, I have always been into Pokemon my entire life. So anytime I see anything Pokemon related, I always still like to get it. But yeah, it's just a random calendar with some cool pictures on it for each month. We got Squirtle, Rayquaza, Mega Rayquaza actually, which that one's pretty cool. Got Meowth, Garchomp, Bulbasaur, Charizard, Goodra, very random one in there. I don't know why that one's in there. Got Tyrunt, another super random one. Got Lucario, one of my faves. We got Zygarde. They threw in a bunch of really random ones in here, which I think is actually kind of cool. We got Pikachu, of course, and then T-Tar. But yeah, just a very like random, another niche item that you will never really see in another person's collection. So yeah, that's all for this first shelf. We will now move on to the second one. Okay, on to the second shelf. Obviously, we of course have the big Pikachu that you guys have seen in the background of my videos for months. This is a pop, and it's one of the ginormous ones. It is so cool. My brother just happened to my brother's a pop collector, and he just randomly happened to buy it a few years back, but he opened up the box, and he is a collector in the sense that he buys them to keep them displayed and never opened. So since he accidentally opened the box, he saw it in his eyes as not as valuable to him anymore, which it is in the collector aspect. So it made sense, and he obviously knows that I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and especially once I was like trying to figure out a setup for my background of videos, I thought this would be a perfect piece to go into the background. So I asked him if I could buy it off him, and he was totally down for it. So now it's a monumental piece in the background of my videos that I'm sure everyone has recognized at some point by now, because it's just, you know, so easy to see. But yeah, that's the first piece. It also ended up working out really well because of the first set I complete being Surging Sparks. Obviously, the main person of Surging Sparks is Pikachu, so it works out as tying into my display for my Surging Sparks. So yeah, it just worked out perfectly in all accounts. And then we, of course, what you guys saw a few videos ago, have the Pokemon Center Surging Sparks ETB as the memento piece for completing the set. Not really much to explain on that, but just a cool piece. Never had a sealed piece for display, so that's a pretty neat part. And then we have two more icons of the channel. I opened these so long ago that it was back when I was still doing shorts, which these came from the 2 blister eraser packs, if anyone remembers, and they also happen to be 2 of my favorite characters, which is just perfect, and I've just always had them on display in the background ever since. And then we have, this is all out of sorts right now, so this stuff will definitely not be here down the line once I have it fully set up. But then right next to it, we have my 2 decks that I use for actually playing the TCG game. They just slide in right here right now. And then right now, I just have my Surging Sparks binder sitting down on the ground, just up against it, which you guys will actually notice that I've switched over the binder. Now that I'm done with it, I put it into a 12-page binder, and I'm trying to like truly master set it. So just something I think I am going to do with sets in the future. I think I am going to change over to actually master setting, not just getting 1 card of each, because I think it's just so much more clean having every single copy of the cards in the set. So yeah, this is the new Surging Sparks binder. So if you ever see that in the background, just know that's the Surging Sparks binder now. It is no longer the purple binder. And then in these cubbies over here is like all of my sorted cards for the National Pokédex binder. So like each one of these boxes is a different gen. So I just have it like easily sorted for when I'm prepping for those videos. But yeah, that's everything over in this area. Let's move over to what another piece that y'all would be very familiar with, which is the ETB wall. Okay, we make our way over here with the Marnie playmat. We got these really cool Ditto beads that someone did for me. I found someone who did them on Reddit. I just thought it was really cool, and I had to do that scene of the regular Ditto and shiny Ditto like holding hands. And then yeah, we have this ETB wall, which starts with, I'm still missing some, but it starts with Scarlet and Violet base and goes towards the right and like that. So I'm missing the other Scarlet and Violet base box, and then like pretty much just everything new, like Journey Together, Destined Rivals, and the White Flare and Black Bolt boxes. But yeah, I just thought that that would be a cool display piece, and since Scarlet and Violet was the era that I started this channel in, I just thought it would be cool to have in the background. And then a bunch of smaller knickknacks that I have. We have this Arceus stand, which comes from that Arceus box from Sword and Shield era that would have a Cosmic Eclipse pack in it. I used to open a bunch of those. We've got a just random Pikachu, and then we have a Slowbro, and then we've got a Hisuian Growlithe pin that just came like in an order. We got one of the Hafunda pins. I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, but it has two of my favorite characters on it, Chansey and Lucky Tongue. We then have a Pokemon Center Chansey, which is really cute. We have the Minun and Plusle figures, and then we got more of the Poncho Pikachus, and the Lucario pin, and the Ditto pin, and then I also have this Pikachu Eevee wearing Poncho one. I just haven't opened it yet. And then, as y'all can see on this, I'm starting to sticker bomb it. So basically just like these from things that I've opened on the channel, and then all of these stickers have come from like orders that I've purchased or Pokemon items that I've opened, so pretty cool. And then this huge bin down here is all of my bulk, so big and filled to the brim, so you guys can imagine how much there is. There is quite a bit. And then if we go into this drawer, right now it's out of sorts, but it's just a bunch of random stuff. Actually, more stuff that I need to display. We have an Eevee pop, got a Pikachu pop, and we have this really random like off-brand Lego Ditto with a Pokeball. And then we have a silver Squirtle pop, and then just bought this semi-recently before moving. One of those random like collect figurines of Ditto, which was pretty cool. And I think that's about everything in there. This is what I hold all of my like a good chunk of my sleeves in. It was a random box that I bought when I was sick for that while of not recording, and it just had some random like Japanese packs in it that I opened for fun because it had been a while since I had opened, and I thought the box was so freaking cool, so I definitely wanted to keep it as a display piece. So now it holds a bunch of my sleeves. And then the other side is literally just like, we've got the semi-rigid card holders for when I grade cards, and then it's all of the boxes of stuff that I've opened on the channel, even dating back to the Lorcana episodes that I did, the random Disney Y Schwartz box I opened. You can see the Terastal Festival in there, which was one of the very first episodes on the channel. So those are all going to be displayed eventually because they're pieces of history on the channel. But yeah, I just letting you guys know that I do keep all of this stuff because I just think it's cool as like mementos and like just a reminder of what I've actually opened. But that's pretty much everything for non-card wise. Going to switch over to the desk now to show you guys my PC binder, but also one more thing. We've got the mat that I use just at my normal computer desk and where I record my videos, which is this insanely cool Thunderbolt Miu mousepad, which as you guys can see is ginormous. Like this is the size of my keyboard, and granted it's a smaller keyboard, but still it does not cover like any of it. But yeah, I've used this keyboard mat for ages now. It is such a cool piece. So yeah, let's transfer over to the card showing portion of this video now. Okay, so first off we have a graded guard box just for like holding slabs and really anything of sorts. I've just been keeping it as like a storage for now before I've been fully set up. There's not much in here, but you have what I hold on to for hunting for graded cards, which is unfortunately just the one card right now, and then just some other randoms like these two that were open in the Y Schwartz that I never decided if I wanted to grade or not. We have a sleeved Unified Minds and a cool acrylic holder, which this one actually ties to my other main interest outside of this Pokemon channel, which is I actually have my own clothing brand, and fun fact, it is named Unified Minds, hence why I got this pack, because it's almost like a crossover of both things. And it's just a funny story because when I made that brand, I had been fully out of the Pokemon hobby for quite a while and completely forgot about the fact that it was the name of a set, so once I realized that, I thought that was a pretty cool piece and knew I had to at least have a booster pack to display. And then we also have my graded cards, of course, that have been displayed in the background of the videos forever, but I just haven't fully set up here yet, so haven't brought them out, which we've got the Terapagos from Hunting for Graded Cards, the first ever card pulled in that series that graded a 10, so definitely a memento piece. Got another one from Hunting for Graded Cards that I just really like, the Goldingo from Terrestrial Festival in a 10. This is the first ever graded card that I bought, which is a Slowpoke Shiny from Paldean Fates. And then we got another one from Hunting for Graded Cards, from Terrestrial Festival, the Iron Bundle Master Ball Reverse Holo. And then this is a very random one, not Pokemon related at all, but was open on the channel, the Y Schwartz box when I pulled the Iron Man. I thought this would be a really cool display piece just because it is Iron Man. Obviously was hoping for a 10, somehow got a 9, which annoys me to this day. And then probably outside of the, full Surging Spark set, this is definitely the most expensive item in my collection, which is the Mint 9 Pikachu Van Gogh. Still got it sealed and everything. I'm sure you guys have seen it in the background before, but it was actually my brother bought it for me this last Christmas. And fun fact, when he bought it for me, it was $180, and now it's $400. So kind of crazy how fast it's gone up. But yeah, that's all for the card case. Now let's move over to the binder. Okay, so we got another one of these ginormous binders, just like for the National Pokédex video. This one is just green instead. And basically how I have it set up is, so we're first going to have our Pikachus, just a bunch of ones that, not even necessarily the biggest Pikachu fan, but just because, he is the mascot of Pokemon. Anytime I see a Pikachu related card, I always just throw it into here. Got all of these ones over here. This is a really cool one. This is I didn't even know it until I was logging my cards, but this is actually a Burger King promo card from 2007, which is pretty cool. And then, yeah, just a bunch more Pikachu cards over here with some coins down at the bottom. And then next up we have just a couple Alolan Raichus. So this next part of the binder is basically most of my favorite Pokemon, and I'm just as I see them, collecting them, not really directly collecting them. So you'll just see it's just what I've randomly come across over the last few months. So first we have Alolan Raichu. Next we have the entire Happiny, Chansey, Blissey line with some random cool artworks. And then we have the Lickitung and Licky Licky line. And then a bunch of EVs. Again, I've always mentioned evolutions are not necessarily my favorite cards, but they're so popular that I still thought it would be cool to throw them in. Just like I have every single evolution following it. So we got Espeon, then Vaporeon. Then we got Sylveon cards, and then Flareon. Flareon is my favorite of them. And then we've got Jolteon cards, and then Umbreon cards, of course. And then to finish it out, we've got the Glaceon cards and the Leafeon cards. And then we've got Marshadow cards, only ones I have so far. He doesn't have many anyway, but another one of my favorites. And then y'all can see for Lucario, I definitely have a pretty decent amount, and some cool ones, to be honest. We've got the Mega Lucario right here, which these are going crazy now. I've had that forever. We've got another one of these Burger King promos, sadly very damaged, but another very random cool card of his. And then over on the other page, we have a very, well, first off, we have probably my favorite artwork of his. At least one of my favorite, which is his tag team with Melmetal. I just love how this looks. It almost looks like an oil painting. It just looks so cool to me. And then we have a very unique card that I randomly acquired at one point on Reddit, which is this second place Pokemon League card, which I thought was so cool, and it's just like something you definitely do not see often, so I knew I had to get that. And then we have Absol cards. Absolutely love Absol. And then we've got the whole Slowpoke line, of course. I've mentioned him many, many times, which starting with just the Slowpoke cards. And then we have the Slowbro cards with some more of those Mega cards. And then, of course, finishing is Slowking. Here's another cool pickup I just recently got. The Japanese Southern Island Slowking. Really cool card. And then we have Marowak, which a Lowland Marowak is so sick. That's like my more favorite variation of him, but I like Marowak in general. This is another really random card that you don't see often. It's a Japanese version of it, and it's going to be hard to capture on the camera, but it's a cracked ice variant, which you do not see very often. So I had to pick it up when I saw it. We then have my Goat Belly Bolt, which this side of the page is all singular cards that I don't have of him, including this cool sticker and this sleeve that came in the Iono collection box that I opened a long time ago. And then these are all of the like extras. I'm just like jokingly building an army of him. And then we've got just a couple Mew cards, but I do love Mew. A couple Jirachis, but also a big fan of Jirachi. And then a couple Celebi cards as well. Just a singular Irida card, but that's one of my favorite trainers. I've got Ampharos cards, love Ampharos. Got the really cool Prime card, would love to collect the Prime cards at some point. And then we have some Miss Magiuses. That's actually recently just become one of my favorites. And then we have Quagsire, of course, and I'm sure as you guys remember, when I pulled this in the Destined Rivals video, I literally said this was my chase of the set. Pulled it within like 3 packs. We then have Kricketune. This will also be a Kricketot page. I just think it's so funny. They just always look so dapper. They're just such a funny Pokemon to me. And then we have Moltres, which specifically I really like Galarian Moltres, but I do just like Moltres as a Pokemon. And this is probably my, besides the alt art Galarian Moltres from Chilling Reign, this is probably my favorite artwork of Moltres, which is the Blaine's Moltres. I don't know, he just looks so sick to me on that card, and this is the Japanese one, of course, and yeah, just a beautiful card. Definitely want to get it in English too at some point. And then I was starting kind of like a emo, just like dark page, so like psychic and dark Pokemon on this page. Haven't really done a lot of it yet, but was starting on it. And then this page is literally just like random cards and artworks that I really like. It's not like any Pokemon that I necessarily like, but it's just artworks that I've collected throughout the time that I thought was really cool, like just this random Lily's Rimbombi that was opened from Journey Together. I just think it's really cool artwork. This Babarrel is so funny to me because you would think it's a Smeargle card with how big he is on there. This Corviknight VMAX, I've always really liked this card. And then this Diglett with the sweat tear. I think that one's a really funny card. And then these 2 level X's, the Torterra and Arceus, those are literally from my childhood. Like I packed those myself when I was like 5 or 6, so holds on to memories. And then only one on the next page so far, this really cool Delta Species Vileplume, which Vileplume is another Pokemon that I do really like, so he might have a spot for cards in the binder at some point. And then we move on to my promo section, which I think this is one of the coolest parts of my binder. I just thought it would be fun to start with when they started doing them every ETB, which was Crown Zenith, and then working my way through. You have both of the base set ones, the Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, 151, both Paradox Rift, Paldean Fates, both Temporal Forces, Twilight Masquerade, Shrouded Fable, Stellar Crown, Surging Sparks, Prismatic, Journey Together, and Destined Rivals. I'm just missing the new White Bolt or White Flare and Black Bolt cards. Just haven't opened any of those yet and haven't really been buying since they've been out. But yeah, such a cool part of my binder. It's going to be so cool when this spans across like multiple pages. But yeah, I've literally been, I started this like pretty much when I started the channel. And then next we've just got some random like stamped cards that are from the Build and Battle kits or like early release events, because I went to a few early release events back when I was collecting in Sword and Shield era. Okay, and then we got another one of my favorite parts of this binder, the Prism Stars set. I did mention in a recent video that I was completing this, and literally only one I need right now is just one, and it's Arceus, but I have every other one, and this is all in like order of release of them. So I just think these cards look really sick, and Ditto's in it, my favorite Pokemon, so thought it would be a cool set to complete. I also, obviously, as you guys saw, love Jirachi, love Celebi, so it's just an overall really cool set. Very niche type of cards that was just randomly in the Sun and Moon era for the span of like 5 or 6 sets, and has just never been a card again, so I thought they were really unique and cool cards, so wanted it in my PC binder. And then we get to our promos part of the binder, which is just a hosh-posh of promos that I've opened like since I've collected, whether that's on the channel or before that. Like this one, everyone knows this card, the Entei promo card that you would get for going to watch the movie at the theater. And then of course through stuff like this, like the Grivard, which this was opened on the channel. The Kyogre and Rayquaza were opened on the channel when I did the Crown Zenith opening. Then you've got a couple more back here, like the Ice Box ones, and these as well, which were opened on the channel. I can't remember what from though. I can't remember what those come from. And then you got just a couple like random like cool old energies in the back here. And then this is my like absolute grail part that I'm working on. This is the like one like really expensive part of the binder, which is all of the older EX cards. I think these cards are so sick, and I know that there's a bunch of them, and I know they're extremely expensive, but this is my big side personal project that I am working on right now. As you guys can see, I'm not extremely far into it, of course. Chansey and Espeon were the only two that I originally had, and so far I've put them in order of when they release, and I'm also even collecting the championship versions. So as you guys know, they have the championship versions of cards. There is some EX championship cards, so collecting those as well. I'm getting every single one of these old EX cards eventually, if I can get to that point. But yeah, these are just the random ones that I have so far, and I believe, yep, that caps out the binder. So that is all of my personal collection. So yeah, thanks for watching that video, y'all. I did not realize how long that video would be until I started getting into it and like showing stuff. But I guess just because of the fact that like, just because I don't necessarily have, you know, the like holy grail pieces, the $1,000 items, that like I still have a bunch of stuff to show off. So it doesn't surprise me that this video was really that long, to be honest. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for 100 subs once again. Really appreciate the support. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel and want to start seeing more videos of mine, make sure to subscribe, and see you guys for the next episode. Thanks for watching, y'all. Appreciate it. Peace.